And then finally, I just want to, on the crypto side, address a question that we've been getting quite frequently. You can tell how convinced we are that deflation is the higher probability. And we know that's way out of consensus, and that's where we like to be. But many wonder how we could be positive at all about Bitcoin if we're not worried about inflation. This bull market has strengthened. It has deflected all kinds of bad news. The doubling in interest rates in the first quarter, the ARK leverage blow up in the ecosystem, which many thought could cause systemic problems. We've been through tax hike discussions, which sounded pretty onerous in terms of their impact on capital. And we've seen a big correction. We certainly were right in the middle of it in valuations as those interest rates went up. But many wonder how we could be positive at all about Bitcoin if we're not worried about inflation. It did so because of counterparty risk. And what we've just seen in the crypto market is really interesting. It's been cut in half, 2 trillion to 1 trillion, the ecosystem, in the last few months, just cut in half. Can you imagine what would happen if our equity prices, bond prices were cut in half in the span of a few months with all the leverage out there? I think we'd be in a counterparty risk problem again, a big mess. Maybe not as big of a mess as we were in 08-09, because there have been some changes. But I do not believe that our financial world would withstand a 50% drop as easily as the DeFi world has. DeFi, while a lot of people who were leveraged 100 times elsewhere in the world were wiped out. I think, now I'm going to get this number wrong, it was either 86,000 or 860,000 accounts wiped out. DeFi didn't skip a beat. I don't think we could say that for the traditional financial world. And I do think that's why the shift towards DeFi, helped now by central banks moving into stable coins and legitimizing digital currencies, even though that's very different from a Bitcoin. I do think we're going to accelerate further and faster into the DeFi world. And that too is very exciting. And as you know, if Bitcoin's price on a trend basis, remember, we're still a triple since last September. We may have been cut in half, but we were still a triple since last. And if the price continues to move up, what does that mean? That means increased purchasing power, which is what deflation is. So very consistent with our view of the world. This bull market has strengthened. It has deflected all kinds of bad news. The doubling in interest rates in the first quarter, the ARK leverage blow up in the ecosystem, which many thought could cause systemic problems. We've been through tax hike discussions, which sounded pretty onerous in terms of their impact on capital. And we've seen a big correction. We certainly were right in the middle of it in valuations as those interest rates went up in the higher valuation side of the market, particularly if one is looking at valuations as of this year on this year's earnings. So we're very happy at the way the market has performed. It's up double digits, and we've seen now a shift, a rotation back from value as some of these prices have started to unwind, the commodity prices in particular, towards growth. But I think we're going to see toggling back and forth until some of the confusion that I'm discussing here dissipates. It's going to be so important to get on the right side of change. So, part of our mission and value is to educate. We know robots are coming to satisfy or to take care of wage inflation problems. Today in our brainstorm, we're talking about robot picking strawberries. And big debate about that. Are we ready for it? Are we ready for it? And I think we believe we're ready for it. On the oil price side, the antidote to that, electric vehicles at an accelerated rate, almost a self-fulfilling prophecy if the oil price keeps going up. And just a little note for Tesla fans here. It was interesting to see in their sales, which I think were up 84% year over year, certainly taking share from the old world. If you looked at their press release, there was a very interesting picture. It was their semi-truck. Now, this press release had nothing to do with semi-trucks, and certainly not electric semi-trucks. And yet there it was. No explanation, just that there it was. And I do think it's because of some of the Too Simple and the Plus and the Aurora deals that are coming out. And Tesla's basically there just reminding everybody that, these companies think they have an autonomous truck business. Just you wait. And I was happy to see that, actually. We could go back down to where oil prices landed after the cartel took over in the early 70s. And they went from, I think, $3 a barrel or $4 to $12 a barrel. I wouldn't be surprised ultimately to see us back there, especially as electric vehicles continue to take off, and they are starting to take significant share. And I think subsidies in China and elsewhere are going to accelerate the shift towards electric vehicles. So, and also helping it are the number of traditional automakers who are now have pulled out all the stops, and they are designing and producing electric vehicles because they're better cars, they're better for the environment, they're better performing. It makes a lot of sense, and most important for the consumer, from the consumer's point of view, from an adoption point of view, is their prices will continue to fall. So again, the deflationary undertow there.